during a book tour when it first came out, people were asking, about, the content, yeah, but the cover. A lot of people were mesmerized by the cover. And I think the cover is really synonymous with the whole story in itself. So, a friend of mine, she was able to do the cover for me. I gave her some things, some attributes in the person that I wanted to convey, because I wanted it to be the silhouette of a woman. And I just think women are the foundation of what makes us all. Me specifically, I've learned the most throughout my lifetime with friends, relationships, acquaintances, my grandmother, um, every person throughout my lifetime, I've learned a lot from, and they just happen to be women. So I wanted to give back in some way, but I was gonna turn the book in, um, and about 2 days before I turned the book in, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called vitiligo. So it's basically your skin um, pigment. It eats itself. So if you're fair skinned, you might get lighter patches, and if you're brown skin or darker skin, you know, um, it'll be more pronounced. So that's something that I'm battling with right now, and nobody really knows that. But I wanted that to reflect in the piece of art that I was doing at the time. So the cover where you see the spots and everything, that's literally me and my physical flaws and what I'm battling with on the outside. But it's also reflected on the inside. So a lot of people um, wouldn't necessarily know my internal flaws because I don't really speak too much about those. So in there, in the editing process, we edited down, and I added typos in. My editor told me that's not a good idea. You know, people don't really write books like that, and I was just like, it has to do something specific to stand out. Not to mention, it correlates with the cover, and what I mean by that is, um, the typos are my internal flaws that nobody knows. You know, um, and that's what my character, which is the protagonist, which based on my life would be me. That's what I'm wrestling with. So every now and again, um, these internal flaws would come out. I can't really hide the external flaws because the vitiligo is going to do to my skin what it will, but the internal flaws, every now and then they peek out and they show themselves. So that's the part of it. But also, everything isn't black and white, and that also goes along with the typo theme where there's nuance in everything, and I think that's what's missing now. And a lot of things that we do and see and consume is you don't really get the gray area. So I wanted to play in the gray area with the typos to make people uncomfortable and uneasy, but you can still see the beauty in that and the beauty in the storyline. So um, you can see that in there in various parts. They're strategically placed, and somebody's like, "Oh my God, you should have edited," and they took it as if I was made an uneducated or hasty editing process and thought that um, I kind of messed up. And I was like, no. But when I explain what it is, it gives it more of a kind of thing where that's not traditionally done. And like I said, with this specifically, I didn't want to adhere to anything. I wanted it to be a piece of art. So when you look at it, it looks like art. When you read it, it's a story, but the story in itself is a piece of art, like abstract art. And in abstract art, you keep the flaws, you keep the imperfections, and that's what makes it unique.